I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. The wine we're tasting today is Max and Me, the House Blend Boongarrie Vineyard Cabernet Shiraz 2018 from the Eden Valley. I'm really pleased that we've got a Cabernet Shiraz tonight, because for me, Cabernet Shiraz is one of the great Australian wines. There aren't too many places in the world where Cabernet and Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon and Shiraz are blended to make a wine. I mean, you're talking about the Bordeaux tradition marrying the Rhone Valley tradition, which doesn't often happen. But Australia has made this style of wine a signature, and the Barossa Valley is very strong on these. Think of Yalumba. Yalumba makes a whole lot of Cabernet Shiraz blends. This is Phil's effort, and it's a beauty. So, Max and Me. It's another unusual name. Who the hell is Max? Well, Max is the dog, actually. This is Philip Lehman and his wife Sarah. It's their vineyard up in the Eden Valley, and I think Me probably means Philip, but I'm not totally sure. But Max was the dog. Philip Lehman is one of the sons of the legendary Peter Lehman, he of the winery of the same name. And Philip has quite a distinguished career already for a young man. He worked at Yalumba to begin with, and he worked for various other wineries, including Peter Lehman Wines, for a short period, and then he ended up at the Hesketh family group of wineries, which includes Parker Estate and St John's Road and Vickery and so on. But for the last few years he's been doing pretty much his own thing up in the Eden Valley, and they bought a vineyard up there a few years ago, which they have added to and produced a series of wines from, and that's the Boongarrie Vineyard, which is the name behind this wine. So Philip is, I think, a very talented winemaker, an understated chap. He makes a series of wines, including lovely Rieslings, but he also makes an interesting Chardonnay with his brother David. David Lehman has his own winery in the Barossa called David Franz. They make a Chardonnay together just for fun, and it's a hell of a good wine too. So what does this wine, Max and Me, the House Blend Boongarrie Vineyard Cab Shiraz, taste like? Well, beautiful colour, as you'd expect. Nice and deep and bright, youthful, with a good purple tinge. It's only 2 years old. It's the right sort of colour for a 2-year-old wine. The nose, interesting. It's got a mixture of berry aromas on the nose. There's raspberries, blueberries. There's a tinge of oak in there, but it's beautifully balanced. It's not at all dominant. Very attractive nose, but quite shy. You get the sense that bouquet is going to develop a bit more if it gets a bit more time in the bottle. Wow, that's a gorgeous wine. It's got this wonderful depth of flavour. It's really full-bodied. It really fills the mouth. It's got rich fruit, sweet flavour. You can taste the berries of the Cabernet and the spice and the earthiness of the Shiraz. It's all there. It's a complete wine. A touch of licorice, a touch of dried herbs. Beautifully put together wine. I think that's just gorgeous to drink now, but it's got a long future ahead of it. So how do we rate this wine? We scored it 95 out of 100, which is a gold ribbon score. And it was rated number 3 out of 22 Cabernet blends from South Australia we tasted from that vintage. 3 out of 22, that includes all of the Cabernet blends from South Australia, not just the Barossa. So it's done very well to be number 3 in that group. It's a top rank wine, and a $40 wine. We reckon drink that now until 2028 for the best result, but it will live for longer than that, no problem, for another 10, 15 years after that. So what sort of food would you serve with a wine like this? We asked Phil and Sarah Lehman to nominate their favourite dish with this wine, and they said grilled lamb loin chops with hummus. Well, that's an interesting one. I must try that myself. And an alimentari inspired fresh salad. I don't know what alimentari is, but I think it's probably a cookbook. It just means food in Italian, but there is a cookbook I've heard of which is called alimentari. So go and have a look at the salads in this book. They've also said a hot wood oven margarita pizza. Well, yes, that would work well, but I'll take the lamb chops, thank you, waiter. So, enjoy.